How scary it would be if you were sleeping in the middle of the night, in my own house, and was woken up by a bright flashlight, straight to the face. You open your eyes, and I noticed a guy in a mask, pointing a gun straight at me. He called your name, and hissed behind his gritted teeth. Shut up. Or you'll die, and I'll disappear into the dark. That's the fear that Californians have. Suffered for 15 days. After the police were unable to catch the criminal. Rank, ghost, pervert, the criminal in height. It's known by many different names. 6 guys squirt for sight. The East End rapist who stalks the darkness. Knotted Killer Diamond. And most recently, the Golden State Murders. Under any name, the criminal is a traitor. Horror for the people for the longest time, and become one of the killers, the most prolific in history. Sometimes he'll attack different houses on many consecutive nights. Sometimes he comes back to the same neighborhood, selling house and sleeping according to. In 12 years, from the first case of the year, 1974, to the last known case in 1986, Killer Bang. Golden State attacked more than 120 homes, raped 50 people. He killed 12 innocent lives and ruined the lives of countless others. But because of the terror phase, that's before the development of the 911 system, a security camera, the advancement of DNA analysis and the internet, so the police couldn't catch a criminal. The daredevil always plans as meticulously as he does. 44 years have passed. The cases of the East Rape, it seems to have become cold. The investigations into him have come to a dead end. He didn't leave any fingerprints. His DNA doesn't match any of the AIs in the facility. The police's genetic data. Hang up. Cash rewards. There's no way to find information about him. However, it all changed when the police used a new method, a genealogy website. The police took a DNA sample from the scene of the murder in the year 1980 and run it through ChatMatch, a public genetic database. DNA analysis gave a matching result. The results revealed the killer's great-grandparents. For the next 4 months, the investigators carefully constructed a genealogical tree, and the end result led them to their front door. Joseph Angelo, a former police officer and a recently retired warehouse worker. He's 72 years old. Joseph James Angelo was born 8/11 years old, for 5 in New York. His father was an army sergeant. He has 2 sisters and a brother. As a child, Joseph witnessed 2 pilots rape his sister, 7 years old, in a warehouse in West Germany, where his father was stationed at the time. Joseph joined the US Navy. In September of the year 1964, he fought in the Vietnam War for 22 months as a damage inspector on a cruiser, USS Canberra. August A 968, Joseph graduated from Sierra Police Science College. In the year 1971, he's got a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and interned at the Roseville Police Department. May 1 ripe 70, Joseph is engaged to nurse student Bonnie Cowell, study at Sierra College. Bonnie called off the marriage when Joseph became more and more in control and coercion of others. That's when Joseph forced her to cheat, help him in an important exam. After breaking up, Joseph went to Bonnie's house. He stood outside the window and threatened her with a gun to marry him. Fortunately, Bonnie's father was home. He said Bonnie went to the bathroom. He locked the door and went out to talk to Joseph. I don't know what Bonnie's father said, but since that day, Joseph never bothered Bonnie again. November 9th, 7 p.m. Joseph married Sharon Marie Huddle in Citrus Heights. Sharon is a lawyer, and they have 3 daughters together. 2 people separated in 1991. May 9th, 7th p.m. Joseph was hired as a police officer in the anti-theft department, Exeter. Joseph is considered a smart person by his colleagues, brave and observant. But no one could have expected, behind the police uniform and the cute face, it's a sick soul. Joseph plays an aggressive police officer looking for criminal clues, and at night, he became a thief who broke into people's homes. The first theft was recorded, happened on March 19th, a 1974 year, in Visalia, California, when a sum of $50 was stolen from a piggy bank. This is the first theft, mark for the long day raging of one of history's most notorious criminals, United States of America. In the early years, a ripe 70 Visalia, California. It's a place where people without AI lock their doors and keep their windows open. This is a small town near a national park, and neighborhoods are often in dark alleys. This makes Visalia become the ideal location for a new thief to practice like Joseph. Joseph was no ordinary thief. While most thieves act quickly, then Joseph, calm and slow in the house, as if it were my own house. While the thieves will often steal expensive items or anything of value, Joseph had 6 loads of stuff, wasting women's panties all over the house, and take all the personal stuff, like a family photo, driver's license, wedding ring, or souvenir coin. In fact, Joseph broke into people's homes, not because he lacks money or want to steal valuable property. It's just that he likes to feel adventurous and excited. He always thinks he is above others. They can control everything. Look at colleagues who are helpless, can't be caught. Reckless thieves, raging through the bus. It makes him feel more confident about himself. He knows he's smarter. All the stupid colleagues he's pricked, and we have to admit that years of training to become a police officer, it made him special. Foxes are older and wiser than other common thieves. Joseph always planned meticulously before attacking, and watched a house for weeks, even months before taking action. He used to choose the houses near the park. Turn your back to an alley, near walkways or waterways. It's easy to escape if you get caught. He never left his car near where he broke in. He used to walk or use a stolen bicycle to reach the house he's targeting. He always wears gloves, and once he's in the house, he opened all the windows as well as the garage door. And one thing that's special is he'll plant 8 bottles in front of the door or on the doorknob. If anyone comes home, then these things will spill and alarm him. For about 20 months, Joseph committed more than 120 thefts, and he seems to be satisfied with 6 people's homes. However, at 10 p.m. on February 3rd, a 975, when he snooped on 532 Whitney Street, Joseph saw a beautiful young girl that is best, Snelling, 16 years old. Picture of a beautiful young girl in pajamas has aroused a dark evil demon in Joseph. However, the girl's father accidentally discovered a stranger is prowling outside his daughter's bedroom. So I opened the door and ran out to check. Joseph quickly escaped. The dreamlike girl always haunts his mind, and he knew he wanted to rape that girl. 9/11, year 975, at about 2 a.m. Claw Smelling awakened by a strange noise. When he left the bedroom to check, he saw the back door open, and an intruder in a ski mask is grabbing his pet's hair. He threatened me if I didn't do what he said. He'll shoot you in the head and kill your entire family. When I realized I was discovered, Zoe shot her father twice in the chest, kicked Beth in the face, and fled the scene, leaving a stolen bike nearby. Beth was lucky to survive, but her father died of his wounds. This is the first murder of the sick demon Joseph. It's about 8 p.m. on February 12th. At 975, the police ambushed a house on Caviar Avenue, an area that thieves frequent. As predicted, a man in a mask was prying open the door into the house when Joseph finds himself trapped. He was screaming. He pretended to remove his mask and surrender after police opened fire. He warned Joseph that he was a very strong man, agile and skilled of a police officer. While pretending to remove the mask, he quickly pulled out a gun and shot the police officer in the face, then quickly escaped. Fortunately, the gunshot wound only broke the police officer's flashlight. He left some items, like flashlights, size 9 sneakers, and some spoils dropped, like discount stamps and a sock full of coins. In the year 1976, the burglaries in Visalia suddenly stopped. There's a lot of speculation that maybe the thief suddenly died for some reason, or get caught somewhere else. Or maybe it's because he's tired of stealing and decided to retire. The inhabitants of Visalia breathed a sigh of relief anyway, and the police here also feel less of a burden. No one knows that. While the burglaries in Visalia end, Joseph's long series of crimes has just begun. His worst crimes have yet to happen. Year 1976. Joseph was moved to the Auburn Police Department in Sacramento. His crimes are escalating. The theft no longer satisfied him. Joseph started raping and killing people every night. In the homes of the victims, he's known as the East Side Rapist because he's primarily attacking the eastern part of Sacramento County, along the California coast. Joseph became more and more sophisticated and reckless. He used to target women who were alone at first, or single mother with small children. He used to choose middle-class neighborhoods, with houses with only one floor, especially the houses near the forest's edge. Park or turn your back to a dark alley for action. Joseph will spend weeks, even months, to clear the terrain of the area, stalking the house, monitor the living habits of the victim. To target a victim, he usually goes to the house first to prepare. He turned off the lights on the porch and unlocked the window. Hide shoelaces or ropes under the mattress for ready use. He took out the bullets of the guns in the house if he had them. And he'll walk around the house, figuring out the layout. To study the photos, remembering the names of the victims and their families. A few days before the attack, the victims, you will often hear strange noises outside the window, or will receive bizarre and annoying calls. The caller just kept quiet and hung up. Joseph is a devious criminal. He's reckless, but never risk, attacking networks without preparation. He knows the daily routine of the victim, know when their family members will visit, when will the victim be alone. Because of such cunning tricks and meticulous planning, so even if he's been spotted a few times, but every time he managed to escape. Method of the rapist's crime. The Eastern prostitute is that he'll break in through the window, then wake up the sleeping victim with a flashlight, threatened and restrained them with a handgun or a knife. The victim was then tied up with a rope. It's usually the shoelaces he's hiding. Then, he blindfolded and shoved a towel in his mouth. He raped his victim for hours on end. Different from other criminals, Joseph was brazen and bold. No one like him usually attacks his victim, wearing no pants and spending hours indoors with the victim. Instead of acting quickly and running away, he will rape the victim, then calmly walk around the house and 6 cabinets and drawers, even in the kitchen cooking food, open the refrigerator to find fruit and drink beer. He would then go back to rape the bad victim, number many more. So the victims are often terrified, because they can't tell if he's still in the house. Sometimes in the middle of attacking the victim, he'll stop and sob. Maybe he puts his face on the pillow and moan, "Mom, I want to stop." He would clench his teeth and scream, "Bonnie, I hate you." Although he was initially targeting single women or have small children, but after the media reports that rapists usually only attack women alone, he immediately moved on to attacking married couples. To prove that there's nothing he can't do, when you attack couples, the sick rapist used the same trick. He's going to take the female victim with a gun, tie the husband's hands and feet. Then he'll tie her up and separate the couple. He made the man lie face down, and then he puts a stack of 8 plates on his back. Then howl softly, accident threatening, is that if he hears any noise, he will immediately shoot both of them. Then the criminal turned. Ty sends female victim into living room and raped them several times in a row. The police are saying, lock up tight. Sacramento's infamous East Area rapist may still be in town. Why the police can't catch the rapist, and worried about their own homes being violated. I put locks on my door. 3/11 years, a mature 7/6. Before public pressure about the continued attacks of the East rape, the inability of the police, the local government held a community meeting to allay the fear and give advice, help people protect themselves and their families before the terror of the deranged criminal. At this meeting, a man stood up to speak, and criticizing the uselessness of the police and the uselessness of husbands. He couldn't protect his wife. He said out loud that, if the pervert comes near his house, you're going to kill him. 17/5 years 9776 months after that meeting, the body of a man and his wife. He was found in their house. The wife was, he raped her several times before the killer shot her. Both husband and wife. That's the man and his wife who spoke at the meeting. Joseph was at that meeting. Joseph is an arrogant criminal. Sometimes, he'll call the police department to challenge them. 18/3 years, a mature 7/7. Sacramento County Sheriff's Office. I received 3 calls from a man who claims to be a rapist. The Eastern region. Please, the barbershop speaking. You never even catch me. He's very rapist. You dumb fuckers. I'm gonna fuck again tonight. Be careful. As well as the previous call, the next victim was attacked that night. Not just calling to challenge the police. The devil even calls the victim at home, even in their workplace. Months after they were attacked, to make sure they're always living in fear. Five sevenths years, 1979, on Queen and Land Road, in a terrified woman, lying face down in the living room. Her hands are tied behind her back, feet tied in. Her ankles were blindfolded, and she put a towel in her mouth. But you can still hear the intruder's voice. 6 in the kitchen. It was 2:20 in the morning. I'll kill them, he muttered to himself. The woman was lucky enough to untie her leg. She exited the front door and screamed for help. Her neighbor is an FBI agent. He rushed out and saw a tall man, hooded up on the motorcycle, and howled "Gar" to escape. After that rare failed attack, Joseph moved to Southern California. He always made sure no one could survive. To describe him again. Year 1, 979. Joseph arrested for stealing a hammer and dog repellent, and he was fired from the police department by the S. But that only made him even more hysterical. In the morning of October 30th, 2 police officers arrive at Dr. Robert Offerman's house. After an emergency call, a woman is standing in front of the house and crying. 2 people died inside. She said the bodies were in the bedroom. Offerman's girlfriend, psychologist Deborah Manning, the 35-year-old, is lying on the right side of the bed, naked and tied up. The 44-year-old doctor was kneeling on the floor. In his left hand, he gripped 3 white nylon ropes. Both were shot dead. The killer's plan appears to have failed 7 times. Aquaman may have opened the leash and dove into the attacker. Unfortunately, they were both shot dead by the killer. When the detectives handle the crime scene, they walk around. The body of a turkey wrapped in cellophane was thrown out on the porch. At some point in time, the killer opened the fridge and ate dinner himself. Christmas, leftover of the Offerman. It's the beginning of a deadly new chapter in the story of the Night Killer. For the next 7 years in Southern California, he took the lives of 4 couples and 2 women in these meticulously planned and cruel attacks. It's unimaginable. 13/3 years a mature 80. Jacqueline Smith is 33. And Lemon Smith is 43. Were found murdered at their home in Ventura. Jacqueline Smith was raped, and her husband and wife are haunted close by a log found on the side of the house. When examining the scene, the police noticed the victim's wrists and ankles. Multiplication, bound by an unusual kind of Chinese knot. Diamond knot. The police are now beginning to suspect that the darkness in Southern California, that's the same rapist from East Sacramento, because of the kind of knots, similar, was also found at the scene of the Sacramento murders. The police tried to decipher the meaning of the knot and tried to see if it says anything about the guy's background, murder or not, but the investigators said they can't draw any specific clues. 19/8 year, a ripe 80K Harrington, 24 years old, and Patrice Harrington, 27 years old, were found beaten to death with batons in their home. In a rich neighborhood in Dana Point, Patrice Harrington was also raped. Despite the bruises on the victim's wrists and ankles, it shows they were tied up. There is no murder weapon, person, or rope found at the scene. The Harrington couple have been married for 3 months. At the time they were murdered. Kay Harrington's brother is a very wealthy man. After the death of my brother, he spent over $2 million to support California's 6-9 bill, allowed to collect 10 DNA from all the felony crimes in California, in the hope of finding the killer and find justice for my brother. On 27/7, a ripe 8 Cherry Domingo, 35 years old, and Gregory, 27 years old. He became the 10th and 11th victim of the Dark Night. The circumstances of the cases are the same. The women are all slim beauty, with 2 hands tied behind their backs, and the floor is covered in size 9 Adidas shoes. 4/5 years, a ripe 8/6. The body of Janelle Lisa Crush, 18-year-old, found after you were raped, and was beaten to death with a stick at his home in Irvine. Your family is on vacation in Mexico. At the time of the attack, Janelle was the last known victim of the killer, a series of cases that have gone cold for decades. However, there are many amateur detectives still pursuing the case. And Michelle McNamara is one of those detectives. She's the one who coined the nickname Golden State Killer. The Golden State Killer. In the process of investigating the case, her book is called Abagoni in the Dark. Published in February 2008, it became the best-selling book of the year. After 44 years on 24 quarters years to number 18, Joseph D'Angelo was arrested. This is the first long-standing ICE case ever solved. Thanks to the website Must Hue We Transfer, the suspect's DNA was recovered through a public genealogy database to find the matches to identify DNA. The investigators have narrowed the search for the family tree based on age, location, and other characteristics. When the authorities targeted Joseph, they tracked him and collected 10. His DNA came from a tissue left in the trash. On June 2nd, 9th, 20210. Joseph D'Angelo pleads guilty to 13 counts of first-degree murder. He can't be charged with rape or theft because the statute of limitations for those crimes has expired. He's been serving multiple life sentences in a row and never pardoned. The arrest of Joseph D'Angelo was widely welcomed by the public, and it's encouraged many police departments using databases from genealogy websites to solve the crime. However, some people also expressed concerns about the privacy of genetic data, as well as police access. In the digital age, from 18/8 years 2 to 10 to 20, 8 years, 2 to 10 Joseph. He will face trial for the survivors of the case. Rape, their relative, and the families of the people he killed. The devil finally paid the price, but the wound that his crime caused, forever, with the victims and their families.